Hi everyone, I'm Rob. In this video I'll be showing all the different racing games I can play across all systems on this racing cabinet. If you've seen the build video before, you may recall how I did actually remove this T300 from the system once. This made sense at the time because the thing was, at the time, the wheel had no force feedback in it whatsoever. It was just like a free spinning wheel, it didn't even self-center, which means that when you come out of a corner on all racing games you had to manually sort of move the wheel back to the middle, which didn't feel right. And with Microsoft's wireless wheel, that had tension and auto self-centering across all games. And with an Xbox 360 being part of this system, that made sense to use that wheel at the time. Yes, I did lose the PS3 and PS4 functionality side of things, but I wasn't bothered at the time because I have a PS5 upstairs and a PS3 and a wheel stand, so I could use those games on the wheel stand with driving still. No problem. But then I discovered a thing called a force feedback plugin, which is a small utility which gives force feedback and global tension to all racing games across MAME, Model 2 and Model 3. And my word, what a difference that thing made. Wow. All of a sudden, I had tension in the wheel, it's self-centered and gave proper force feedback effects across a load of my favourite race games. And all of a sudden, that was it. This wheel had to go back on. And then with the ability to play the PS3 and PS4 games again, which somehow you missed immediately as soon as they weren't there, because a wheel stand is good, but it's not the same as sitting in a proper dedicated cabinet. So for those reasons, this wheel had to go back on. That's not to say that I don't like this wheel anymore, because I do. The Microsoft wireless wheel is still a cool wheel to use. I still like it. It's got a nice chunky arcade feel to it. The wheel and pedals feel substantially different from the T300RS to the point where it almost feels like you're sitting at a different sit-down arcade machine, which is a good thing. It feels like, you know, a nice variety in the way it all feels. In this section here, the arcade racing, this is Core Knobs Next, front end, there's only 13 games added automatically to the driving section. All of which are good, and I play them all. And ones like this, Outrun, Outrunners, Power Drift, these all have the force feedback plugin working, which works fantastic, and it gives you full force feedback on the wheel, which makes a really, really big difference to all the games. On games like Super Hang On, I've actually done something which is quite cool, and I quite like it. Because I've got the clutch pedal on the T3PA pedal set, I use the clutch pedal as the supercharger for Super Hang On, which gives you like a boost. And that's a pretty cool way of playing that game. Chase HQ is one of my favourite games, and for some reason Force Feedback plugin hasn't supported Chase HQ yet, which I wish they did, because the nature of this game, where you race along and you have to bash into the opponent to knock them off the course, stop their car, would work fantastically with this game. There's another 47 driving games in the standard arcade section, and once I figure out how to move them to the racing section, I'll be happy with the layout of this machine, because like I said, there's another 47 games for racing which are compatible with the wheel in this section alone. Everything from virtual racing, you've got WC Le Mans there, that's one. Virtual racing, there's Cruising USA, Cruising the World, and a bunch of others. But once I work out how to move the ROMs from one folder to the next and carry over to this section, that'd be really good. On the non-MAME side of things, we have a couple of Mario Kart games, being Mario Kart Arcade GP and Mario Kart Arcade GP 2. On Model 2, is the original Daytona USA, Indy 500, Manx TT, Motor Raid, Overrev, the original Sega Rally, Sega Touring Car, Super GT 24, and Wave Runner, which I believe is 9 games on Model 2. On the Model 3 side of things, we have the amazing Daytona 2, Dirt Devils, Emergency Call Ambulance, which is fun but slightly strange, Harley Davidson, Le Mans 24, Scud Race, which is great, but I find it really hard. I must be doing something wrong in that game. Sega Rally Championship 2, and that is it. So 7 games on Model 3. On the PS4 Pro side of things, not counting that one, I downloaded that one because I got it the other day, and some games by fluke do work on the wheel when you weren't expecting, but that one didn't at all. But working games with the wheel on this, we have Xenon, Gran Turismo Sport, Baja, Grid, Project Cars 2, Assetto Corsa, WRC9, Dirt Rally 2.0, Drive Club, F1 2019, Gravel, and The Crew 2, all of which work really well with force feedback. So that's 12 games on the PS4 Pro. On the PS3, I have another 17 games. I have 3 disc-based games, which are Full Auto 2, Sega Rally, and Ridge Racer 7. And as well as those, that's the Full Auto 2 disc that's in there. I have Dirt 3, Wipeout HD, works fantastic with a wheel. I'm not sure it was meant to work with a wheel, but if you remap the controls, it does. What I did, I mapped the accelerator to the accelerator, because normally it's on a button. I put the fire button for your weapons on the brake pedal. The left and right shifter I use as left air brake and right air brake, and then just remapped the other buttons for absorb, power up and things like that. And it works absolutely superb, it really, really does. And we've got F1 Race Stars, Little Big Planet Karting, Grid Autosport, Truck Racer, Burnout Paradise, Zombie Driver HD, Need for Speed Most Wanted, awesome game, still for me the best Need for Speed, Motorstorm RC, Twisted Metal, does work but it is really hard to play with the wheel just because of the way the game is. Motorstorm Apocalypse, Daytona USA, and GTI Club Plus. So all in all 17 PS3 games, which added to the others gives a total of 98. So that's 98 racing games I can play across MAME, Model 2, Model 3, PC, PS3 and PS4. But I designed this racing cab to be compatible with more than one type of wheel. Here I've swapped over the T300RS for Microsoft's wireless wheel. Ordinarily this wheel sits on top of the cabinet, a bit like an ornament, it looks quite nice, but to change over to this wheel is really quick and easy, it takes less than 2 minutes. 2 bolts hold the T300RS in place, and using a powered screwdriver these come out quickly and easily. The T300 just parks on the floor down there, and this wheel sits on top of the metal plate which is part of the cabinet with industrial grade Velcro. Hold it really firmly in place, doesn't go anywhere even under hard use. Same with the pedal set, just sits under the cab, really easy to change over. And on this Xbox 360 I have a further 23 racing games. First one being Outrun 2 on Xbox backwards compatibility, Race Driver Grid, Sega Rally, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing with Banjo-Kazooie, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, still a cool game, Need for Speed Carbon, Blur, PGR 4, 3 and 2, again that one on backwards compatibility, Dirt 3 and a back compat Burnout 2, which is still a awesome game. On download I have Outrun Online Arcade, Crazy Taxi, Daytona USA, Split Second, Grid 2, F1 2013. I do have other F1 games on each system as well, but I tend to just put the most recent one I have for each system. Doesn't seem any point in having all of them just for the sake of it. Burnout Paradise, Cars 2, Forza Horizon, Dirt Showdown and Hydro Thunder. I'm aware there are some duplicates on some systems like Grid 2 and Daytona, but hey, it still counts, and some of them are slightly different in their own way. Like the sound on Daytona 2, the way it handles the surround sound is very different on the PS3 compared to the Xbox 360. So there it is, that's the racing cab. So all in all, 121 games, all racing, all with good feedback on both wheels. I still really like this wheel. It's not as refined, obviously, as the T300 RS, but it's still got a nice feel to it. It's got a chunky arcade feel, and it still feels nice and different to using the other wheel. It kind of makes it feel like you're on a different arcade machine, which is nice. So yeah, 121 games. I can add more, especially on MAME. If I'm missing anything obvious, let me know in the comments. Because if there's a couple of racing games out there which I'm missing, which are awesome, I should really have them on here. So there it is. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. I'll catch you again next time.